everybody, and welcome to Nathan on Shuffle and to my latest episode of New Music Weekly, the show where I give you guys the top prog news headlines for the week, introduce you guys to some new singles that are coming out, and give you updates on the channel and what's happening here on Nathan on Shuffle. It's my passion in life to talk about progressive rock and everything that's coming up in that world. And I have a super exciting news item to talk about. If you know my channel, if you know my preferences in progressive rock, you'll know that I'm just bursting at the seams to talk about one of the most exciting things that's happened for me this year. And as a huge Neal Morse fan, I'm going to dive right into the big headline, the big topic for today. And that's that there's going to be a new Neal Morse Band album coming early next year in February. The album's called L.I.F.T, or L.I.F.T. It's coming out February 27th, 2026, and it's the band back together. They've been on a little bit of a break for some time since the release of Innocence in Danger, and there was some question about when the band would come back together to make a new album because Mike Portnoy is now very heavily involved with Dream Theater, and there was some question marks as to how they would be able to make new music with Mike Portnoy so firmly entrenched in the Dream Theater camp. But they secretly got together and made a big new record, a big concept record, it sounds like. The lineup is Neal Morse, Mike Portnoy, Eric Gillette, Bill Hubauer, and Randy George. This is probably my favorite current band that's on the scene in progressive rock. I just completely love everything they've put out. They have 4 excellent records to their name already, and it's exciting to know that there's going to be another one on the horizon. There's a new single out if you want a taste of what this album's going to sound like. The track is called Fully Alive, and it's fantastic. Has like a 4-minute intro of great music and progressive rock before we get into the vocals and kind of the main meat of the song itself with the main vocal melodies and such. But it's just fantastic. It's great to hear them back together. It's great that Mike Portnoy was able to carve out a little niche of time to work on this record. And it's incredible how they were able to just totally hide this from the world. You know, I consider myself someone who kind of obsessively looks up Neal Morse related news. I'm part of the Inner Circle Club, which talks about like behind the scenes stuff that Neal Morse is working on. And I'm always keeping my ears to the ground of any kind of like inklings or anything that comes out that might hint towards something that's happening. So that the fact that this kind of blindsided me out of the blue, I saw this yesterday coming about on social media, people finding little nuggets and information about this. At first, I almost worried it was like fake news. It was some kind of weird AI generated thing that was happening. But no, this is real news. This is exciting. And I can't wait for the new album to come out. It's going to be one of the first big releases, along with the new Big Train release, which we're going to talk about some Big Train news next. This is being mixed by Rich Mauser, you know, the longtime collaborator with everything Neal Morse. And so that's really exciting. Engineered by longtime collaborator Jerry Goudreau. The drum tracks were recorded on site before each member kind of worked separately from their home studios. They gathered together at Eric Gillette's studio in Tulsa because I believe Eric Gillette has kind of newborn children and wanted to be at home with his wife, so they kind of accommodated for him being home with his family. And it seems like they knocked this out fairly quickly without really giving any hints or nods that they were working together. And it's available to pre-order now on a variety of formats, limited 2-CD digipack, including instrumental versions of the tracks, standard CD jewel case, gatefold 2LP, and digital download as well. So sounds like the band came together, collaborated. They had some ideas that they brought into the collaboration together, but a large chunk of the music seemed to have generated organically over the course of them working together on the record. So really exciting to see that they're back together, and the new track just sounds fantastic. Just exactly in line with what the band does expertly well. Their first album was The Grand Experiment, and then they did Similitude of a Dream, followed by The Great Adventure, kind of a duology to double disc concept records, and then they did The Great Innocence in Danger, of course, which was broken up into 2 sections. The Innocence side, which was the shorter tracks, the Danger side, which was the longer epics. Now we get this long, near 80-minute, I believe, big concept record that they're working on together, kind of capturing some of the familiar themes that Neal Morse is known for. And so I'm really excited about it, as you can tell. I've already pre-ordered my copy. I've pre-ordered both the vinyl and the CD version because I'm just an obsessive fan that way. But super excited, and this is going to be one of my premium albums that I'm going to be talking about next year. So can't wait. As I mentioned, Big Big Train have some updates. They have a new single that they've released called The Sharpest Blade, which features Claire Lindley sharing lead vocals with Alberto Bravin. This is from their upcoming concept record, their 16th studio album, coming out via Inside Out Music on February 6, 2026, called Woodcut. I'm super excited for that one. I've also pre-ordered, and I'm getting excited about that release as well. These are kind of two big back-to-back Inside Out releases, just massive concept records that are sure to delight prog fans all across the world here. And so I'm really excited about this track. It's a really beautiful track. The first track that came out, The Artist, was a bit more upbeat and proggy, kind of Genesis flavored. This one's a little bit more laid back, a little bit more of a ballad type track, but still beautiful and wonderful soundscapes. This is going to be a joyous record, I'm sure. Available as a limited CD plus Blu-ray edition. As well as Dolby Atmos and 5.1 surround sound mixes. There's a gatefold 180 gram 2LP edition as well. Just all the bells and whistles, standard CD jewel case, and digitally in both stereo and Dolby Atmos versions. So they also have announced some touring plans for next year as well. They're going to be doing 18 shows across the UK, Belgium, France, Germany, the Netherlands, Spain, Italy, and Switzerland, starting at Milton Keynes The Stables on Friday, September 25th, and culminating in a show at London Shepherd's Bush Empire on Saturday, October 17th. So a cool autumn tour that they're going to be working towards. I'm sure they're going to be playing this album probably in its entirety, since it's a concept that I'm sure needs to be heard as one continuous piece of music, but there's no confirmation of that. But that's what I'd expect on the tour. Just fabulous stuff going on in the land of Big Big Train. They're probably one of the other big top tier progressive rock bands, along with Neal Morse Band. So much fun and exciting activity for fans of modern progressive rock from these excellent bands, still carrying the torch very strongly for progressive rock music. I'm so happy. Spock's Beard, the guitarist Alan Morse has announced a new solo record is coming out next year called So Many Words. Spock's Beard just barely released a new album, which I've talked about on the channel, The Archaeoptimist, one of my favorite releases of the year. I'm sure you'll hear about it in my year-end lists and countdowns and such. But this is a cool solo record from Alan Morse, who's of course one of the main members of Spock's Beard, a co-founder, lead guitarist, brother of Neal Morse, who I've been talking about in this episode. This record, So Many Words, is due out in late January 2026. Musically, the collection explores the fringes of progressive rock, noise, loud guitars, traditional influences, with Alan handling lead vocals on most tracks and performing a substantial portion of the instrumentation. We've also got some contributions from Neal Morse, from Simon Phillips, Tony Levin, and the various members of Spock's Beard as well. Alan can play pretty much any stringed instrument. His recordings and performances span sitar, bouzouki, mandolin, pedal steel, electric sitar, slide guitar, cello, bass, and even the musical saw and theremin. So a lot of different musical toys that he likes to play with. I believe some people have heard this. I think there's been kind of a Bandcamp link that some people have had access to, but this is the official release of the record, which I'm excited for because I haven't been privileged enough to hear it yet, and I love Alan Morse. He had a pretty cool solo record not too long ago that I really liked as well. The name of it's kind of escaping me, but it's a really cool record as well, so that's going to be fun to look forward to. Pink Floyd are opening some Wish You Were Here pop-up stores across Europe and LA in December here. This is to celebrate their upcoming 50th anniversary of their 9th studio record, Wish You Were Here. The stores will open in London, Paris, Los Angeles, Barcelona, Milan, and Berlin from December 12th to the 15th, with the focal point being December 12th, which is the release of this 50th anniversary edition of Wish You Were Here through Sony Music. The stores are created with News and Coffee Studios, the creative arm of independent magazine curator and specialty coffee roaster News and Coffee, and will transform into a Wish You Were Here 50 curated space. So I just thought that was kind of interesting that they're doing some interesting marketing here for Wish You Were Here. I put this on my Christmas list for the new 50th anniversary version. There's a deluxe box set, a Blu-ray edition featuring 3 concert screen films from the band's 1975 tour, plus a Storm Thurgerson short film, and on 3 LP and 2 CD formats. So a lot of cool formats for this seminal classic album, which many herald as one of the biggest and brightest progressive rock albums in history. So wanted to mention that. And I also want to give a shout out to the Prog Report, who are doing their annual Prog Awards. A lot of people get excited about this. A lot of artists love to campaign to be voted for on this list, and it's cool to see what the popular opinion is of what the best prog album, best prog artist, and all different kinds of different categories. So you can vote now on Prog Report's website. It's I think voting goes till December 10th. The different categories are favorite live album, breakthrough, album cover, video, production, instrumental, prog epic, prog rock song, prog rock album, prog metal song, prog metal album, and artist/band of the year. So please vote for those, and I'll basically be showcasing my answers to this throughout my year-end content, basically, of what albums really have struck me and what my favorite album of the year is, which is still a little bit in flux, but I have some great ideas of what that will be. So just wanted to mention that. Some quick hits I wanted to mention quickly. Solstice shared a new trailer for Clan the Stable's Gathering live release. This is coming out February 18th. I love Solstice. Their album Clan was one of my favorites this year, and they're a great live band. They played at the Stables in Milton Keynes on August 30th, 2025, and they're putting it out as a live release coming out. So definitely something worth checking out if you're a fan of the band or want to get into them. It's going to be available on white 80-gram colored vinyl, CD, and download in all formats. Include links to the 135-minute concert film. And they're also going to be touring in 2026 throughout the year, starting in February all the way through in October, a variety of different dates throughout there. So I wanted to mention Gazpacho also are doing some touring. First UK show in 4 years as they announced UK and European tour. They're going to be playing at the O2 Islington Academy on April 4th. And they have some dates throughout basically February to about May time in the UK and Europe. So should be a great time to check out Gazpacho. Norway's Prague is an excellent thriving scene, and they're a great shining example, more on the atmospheric kind of neo-prog, more thoughtful and longer form music, but very beautifully rendered. And our prog singles list, of course, I have Neal Morse Band's Fully Alive. You got to check that out. Fantastic track from the upcoming record, as well as Big Big Train's The Sharpest Blade, which I'm really excited about. New Big Big Train single, really excellent. There's a new video out from Opeth for their section or paragraph 3 from their previous release, The Last Will and Testament, offering a new visual interpretation of the narrative. There's been a little bit of controversy that I've seen about this because it seems the video is AI generated, I suppose, and a lot of people are not big fans of AI generated videos nowadays. AI generated art, AI generated music, take your pick. Just a lot of people are concerned about AI kind of taking over the artistic integrity of actual human beings and artists, which I share some of those concerns. So take that for what you will, but a great track from Opeth regardless, and cool to see it getting some attention, even if maybe there's some negative attention there. But I think it's a really great track and well worth a re-listen from last year. So we also have a new track from Carnival. The track's called Opal. A fantastic track from the band, prog metal from Australia, I believe. Their new album is after a very lengthy hiatus. We've been waiting 12 years for a follow-up to their third album, Asymmetry. This is In Verses, which is coming out February 6th. So really excited for that upcoming release. An excellent premier prog metal act for sure. Textures have a new track called Vanishing Twin. This is a Dutch prog metal quintet. Their new album, Genotype, is coming out in 2023 in January. So look forward to that one as well. A great track. And Hallis is also on my list. Face of an Angel. This is a Swedish prog rock quintet. This is a more poppier track, kind of 80s influenced, with vintage synths and twin guitars, and just a really catchy track. It seems like the album itself has a bit more proggy moments, but they're putting out more of the accessible tracks now. The album itself, Panorama, will be available on January 30th. So that's what we've got for you on this episode. Hopefully you appreciated some of those items, and hopefully you're as excited as I am for the new Neal Morse Band release. As for the channel itself, it was a pretty quiet week. I basically took the Thanksgiving holiday weekend off from doing videos, so there hasn't really been a video in a little bit of time here. I did do a couple of reviews a little bit over a week ago for Spock's Beard and Moron Police, which are two excellent records, both in contention for my favorites of the year. So if you haven't checked out those reviews, I would heartily recommend that. As for what's coming up, it's basically all about the year-end content. That's what I'm getting excited about. I'm going to be doing my final November roundup. I keep doing these album roundups per month throughout the second half of the year. It's been kind of a new feature for the channel that I've really enjoyed. So the final one will be this November review roundup, which will come out early next week, capturing some of my favorite albums that I've been listening to throughout the month of November. Probably won't do one in December because there tends to not be a lot of new releases coming out in December. So we'll resume that series next year, either in February or later. We'll see, depending on how the releases go. Definitely do a recap for the month of February, but January tends to be a little bit of a wasteland for new releases as well. But there may be enough there that I might do a January episode. So look forward to that. I'm going to be doing basically 2 year-end shows. One, my honorable mentions, 25 albums that I really loved this year that just barely didn't crack my top 16 album tournament. And that's going to be a really excellent show. And then I'm going to be doing the big Sweet 16 Prog tournament, detailing my 16 favorite prog albums of the year, pitting them against each other in a tournament style, and seeing what emerges victorious as my favorite record of the year. So those are coming up shortly in a couple weeks' time. I'm trying to get those out there before Christmas, especially. I might be doing a show with Jana as well, kind of recapping our year in general, maybe covering some of the stuff that's not quite music related, just giving an overview of what we've been up to, and getting a chance to have Jana back because hasn't been on the channel in a little bit of time here. So I think we're going to get back into the swing of things and do more videos together soon. So that's what you can expect for the rest of the year. There may be another New Music Weekly or not. It depends on if there's more news items to come throughout the rest of December. But for now, unless something huge comes out, this might be the last of New Music Weekly until next year. So we'll see. And then I'll probably do an episode of all the upcoming things I'm excited about in 2026. So a lot to be doing, a lot of fun to be had, a lot of fellow YouTubers doing their year-end content, and it's going to be a fun time of year. Hopefully you'll stick with my channel and enjoy what's coming up. So thank you guys for joining me on this episode, and I'll hopefully catch you guys in a future one. Bye everybody, enjoy the music.